Live stream microphone check.
Okay, colleagues, we are now returning to the public live stream. This is part two. We've now had a discussion, part B discussion in confidence. We're now live and direct. So, right, it's been really, really useful. The examination has been robust. It really has, and that's fair as it should be. We now need to make a decision to recommend to Cabinet the paper in front of us, and I think I will hand over to Councillor Sunnox, who's been scribbling, and I'm looking at him to have built a consensus around what we might wish to suggest that Cabinet may need to be aware or request of in advance of making their final decision. So do you want to just appraise us with what you've got there?
Yes. So the main changes, what I read out before, are that we're making absolutely clear that the Cabinet should approve the contract award and seek the following clarifications, okay? It's not conditional, one is not conditional on the other. And then the clarifications are all the same, except instead of requiring them to share a master plan and financial appraisal, we realise that's too difficult. That we prepare a timetable and budget for preparing a master plan. So we're only asking for a plan, we're not asking for a plan. And everything else is the same, except at the end we add a bit to recognise Councillor Smith's concerns, preparation of an operating budget showing that sufficient funds will be available to maintain the new buildings to a high standard.
Yes, I think that's fairly good. I think it'd just be a case that there should be a viable, there should be a viable operating budget. I don't think we need to go into all the points about what it needs to cover.
Chair, would you find it helpful if I read the entirety of it out?
Really, really helpful.
Thank you.
Could I also suggest that they satisfy themselves about that proper due diligence has been carried out on the contractor?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Good catch.
That'll be in your part B. Okay. Yeah, that'll be in your part B in Cabinet. Yeah, okay. Okay, right. Mr. Clark is just adding that in, and then we will have a full recount of where we're at, and then we will need to make a decision on those words. So, Mr. Clifford, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. So the wording of the proposal is as follows. The Scrutiny Panel, having considered the report on the proposed contract award for the Heart of Greenstead Phase 1 construction works, recommends that Cabinet should only approve the contract award and the take out only. Yeah. It should approve the contract award and the following clarifications and assurances should be provided. 1. Funding of the budget shortfall. Clear identification of the Council's financial exposure, including how much of the confirmed shortfall for Phase 1 falls to Culture to City Council and from which approved budget the Council proposes to meet this contribution. 2. Whole scheme planning and interdependencies. A timetable and budget for a master plan and financial appraisal covering all phases of the Heart of Greenstead project. Open brackets, community facilities, housing development and later phases, close brackets, including the interrelationship of phases, decant strategy, access and delivery sequencing. 3. Use of land value uplift, clarification of the land value uplift identified in the Green Book business case, and an explanation of why proceeds from the housing development, Phase 2, cannot be applied to the identified funding shortfall for Phase 1, noting that this is standard practice in mixed scheme regeneration programmes. 4. Governance. Clarification of the portfolio holder responsible for the scheme and its financial outcome. 5. Preparation of an operating budget showing that sufficient funds will be available to maintain the buildings to a high standard without council support. 6, that due diligence has been carried out on the contractor. And then the conclusion as follows: the panel considers that these assurances are necessary to ensure the proposed contract award represents sound financial management, provides value for money, and is consistent with the overall Heart of Grinstead delivery strategy.
Okay, they're the words. Councillor Smith?
I've got some issues, I think, with both 2 and 3. They both seem to be very long and very wordy to me, and not related particularly to the item under discussion. Could you read 2 again? I think we could maybe trim it down.
2 is as follows: whole scheme planning and interdependencies. A timetable and budget for a master plan and financial appraisal covering all phases of the Heart of Grinstead project, open brackets, community facilities, housing redevelopment and later phases, close brackets, including the interrelationship of phases, decant strategy, access and delivery sequencing.
I think we just need to say that we want to see a master plan, the proposals for a master plan prior to any progress onto phase 2.
Can I suggest we just put a full stop after financial appraisal, a timetable and budget for a master plan and financial appraisal, full stop.
Yep, that's generic enough.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was it another one? 4
3.
or 3?
3 is as follows: use of land value uplift. Clarification of the land value uplift identified in the Green Book business case, and an explanation of why proceeds from the housing redevelopment phase 2 cannot be applied to the identified funding shortfall for phase 1, noting that this is standard practice in mixed scheme regeneration programmes.
I think that just comes under 2, but if you're looking at a master plan, you'll get all the figures in there.
I'm not sure I agree with the factual accuracy of it, but no, that's just a repetition of what you're saying too. You need to think about my mind. Sorry about that.
Sorry, right. William?
Take it out.
Take it out. Good strike it, well done. Okay, we're there. Now, I think we have consensus. So given that William has proposed these set of words, I would look for a seconder, and I'm going to look over in the direction of Councillor Smith, who's put his hand up. That's good, because I seconded you the other evening when you proposed something, so it feels appropriate that we're cross-party working together. So that's why I didn't want to back Williams, though I do. So I move to the vote. All those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Brilliant. Okay, thanks, folks. I think that concludes that item. And I'm not sure there's anything else to talk about tonight, other than if I'll get some dinner. Mr. Clark, are you happy?
I'm satisfied, Chair, yes.
I'm going to formally close the meeting and thank you all for your contributions and wish you a safe and happy journey home. Thank you.